Am I the a-hole for refusing to close our marriage for the sake of our children? I 27M would say I'm a bit of an awkward guy. I think my outward appearance can be deceiving on that front. I do well in situations where there are well-established rules, like in work and business-related interactions. When it comes to romance, I feel like I fall a little flat. I talk too long about things someone might not care about on first meeting, I ask too many questions, etc. My wife, 28F, has been interested in opening up our relationship for a while. I was never against the idea, but she continually said she wanted me to try looking as well. I was happy just letting her have her own fun, but she said she only wanted to open things up if I was going out and meeting people too. And I did. Meet someone, that is. He 31M is so everything. He's witty and so smart. He's got this biting sense of humor that I'm genuinely obsessed with. He's quiet and deliberate with his actions, and I'm just really overjoyed with the fact that I finally feel understood by someone. He seems to actually enjoy sex with me, sex in new, inventive ways that I didn't even consider a possibility 6 months ago, but more than that, he seems to actually enjoy being with me. Getting to know me as a person. My wife was having fun. I've gotten a lot of fulfillment out of this and gained a lot of confidence. That's why it was such a shock to me when she came to me and said she wanted to close our marriage again. She said this was a temporary arrangement and she wanted to get serious about having children soon. Every time I think about agreeing to that, it feels like I'm losing something really important. Like, I'm shutting down this significant piece of myself. I eventually told her no, I'm not interested in closing our relationship. Now, she's accusing me of being selfish and not caring about our future children. Am I the a-hole? Relevant comments. Did Op know he was attracted to men? Op, I knew I was attracted to men prior to this, but it wasn't something I entertained as a real possibility. And then when I started entertaining it, I always saw myself in a different position than the one I'm in now, if that makes sense. I had some preconceived notions that you can't be masculine and bottom, or that you can't be masculine and be taken care of / be the little spoon. I have been proven wrong on many such occasions. Commenter 1. What I took away from this is that you don't feel understood by even your wife. And she doesn't like to have sex with you. Pending further information, I would say you guys are not meant for each other. Don't bring kids into. Amicably separating before having kids is the kindest thing for both of you. Op, I don't necessarily think my wife doesn't enjoy sex with me, but I don't come away from it feeling particularly good about myself. So it's not like I'm being berated or told I'm not doing things right, but I'm also not getting much verbal feedback at all. On the other hand, sex with him makes me feel confident. I feel a new appreciation for my body afterwards. Not sure if that's totally bizarre, haha. He verbalizes a lot more than she does. And then this is where I feel weird all over again because comparing the two of them feels wrong and disrespectful. Commenter 2, does it feel wrong because it's disrespectful, or because you feel like you should feel one way, and you don't? It seems to me that you may be feeling like your man is your man, but that you made a promise to your wife and you have to keep that even though she's becoming less and less your woman. People change and that's okay. Even if you were 100% in agreement with having an open relationship, things changed between the two of you when it started. To me, your words for your man drip with love and appreciation, but you only seem to have friendly affection for your wife. That's just what I'm reading, I'm not trying to say that's how you feel. Just what I see. Op, I'm not a jealous person at all. I would never have agreed to this arrangement if I was. That being said, there are times when I'm like, damn. I would very much like to make some sort of show of commitment to him that says this is mine, do not approach to everyone else. Which makes me feel a little crazy, to be honest. Is Op's guy interested in having a relationship with him? Op, we've never specifically talked about that. I've been reluctant to. It's nerve-wracking. We have had conversations about how crazy it is that things fell into place when we met. Like, whoa, suddenly you're one of the most important people in my life. Suddenly I have clothes and a toothbrush in your apartment and I'm snoozing my alarm to stay in bed with you for a little longer. I've never been that type of person. Life is weird. Update 1. The last few days have been really emotionally exhausting. The first question I had to sit with was not whether I'd be happier in a relationship with my new partner. It was, would I be happier without my wife? I never wanted to go into this conversation with him feeling like this was a one or the other situation. Talking to him without a decision made would feel disingenuous. It would be a dick move to everyone involved, like if he said no then I had my wife waiting in the wings. To me, that says neither relationship really mattered to me, I just want to be with someone. In my mind, there were only two options for how things would go when we spoke. I would either be ending things with him for my marriage, or I would be ending things with my wife. There was no taking a leap of faith and then crawling back to her with my tail between my legs. The conclusion I came to is that I'm just not fulfilled in my marriage. I'm also having these complicated feelings, kind of cycling through anger at her opening our marriage at all and pulling me out of my comfort zone, while also feeling so grateful for what it's taught me. A common theme in the comments on my last post was, once the door has been opened, it can't be closed. And that's true. I can't go back to not knowing how it felt to be understood and listened to. I can't unknow this feeling of trust. So I told her that I'm unhappy and that I'm going to be looking into separation options. I had a conversation with my guy, and it went really well. I was just open and honest with him about how I feel. That he gives me things I've never had and never knew I could have. He said some really sweet things that are just for me and not for the internet. There's no well-rounded end to this story yet. I have a lot more conversations to have. There's also so much more I want to say, so many emotions that I'd like to get down into words, but this is already very long. I just wanted to come on and give a little update for those of you who were wondering. Relevant comments. Commenter 1, thanks for the update. I'm glad you took time to reflect, and I'm glad you're not going to close up the marriage and simply be unhappy for the rest of your life. What was your wife's reaction? I always wonder what the partner who asks for this really thinks the outcome will be when it seemed clear from the outside it's always a selfish, I want more attention from other people, that turns into, you wait, I'm jealous my partner is getting fulfillment from someone besides me. It wasn't a positive reaction. Lots of talking about how I made a commitment to her, and that I was throwing that away for someone else. I just kept reiterating that it wasn't about him, it was about me. How I feel and how she makes me feel. That still hasn't gotten through to her. Commenter 2, glad to read you're prioritizing your own feelings and wants. Even gladder to read you're having/planning a lot of conversations. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you as you navigate this new chapter. Thank you. The conversations I've already had feel like perfect encapsulations of both relationships. One made me feel validated and understood, the other made me feel like she was hellbent on misinterpreting what I was saying. I just feel safe with him. Responds to a comment on him should have discussed feelings with his wife when she asked to open the relationship and his confidence with the whole thing. I've never encouraged anyone to attack her. I've answered people's questions about my dynamic with her versus my other partner. I came here looking for advice, but mostly this has been helpful in forcing me to verbalize my thoughts. It's forced me to give words to all the things I've been feeling for a while. I also think I don't agree with a lot of the limerence/infatuation crowd. I'm not a relationship hopper. I also don't consider myself polyamorous. I said this in another comment on my original post. It's a concept I was participating in, not something I see as part of my identity. This is not me getting swept away in some passing fling. It's me realizing I wasn't getting what I needed and that I like this confident version of myself more, a version that my wife seems to dislike. This is about me, not about him. That's something I've tried to explain to my wife as well. Update 2. I feel like this is more of a plea for advice than an actual update. I'm really trying to focus on myself. I'm still having conversations about divorce with my wife. I'm actively speaking to lawyers to start that process. She moved out 6 days ago. I have a lot I need to sort out before I jump into anything else properly. That's the responsible thing to do. But man, is it hard not to be level-headed and responsible right now. I think there was a mental barrier up before. I was giving my guy so much of myself, but I was still holding back some because I have a wife. I obviously couldn't go spend weeks at a time at his place because I had someone expecting me at home. But now it's like a dam broke and I've never felt like this before. He is very much meeting me where I'm at. We've had open and honest conversations about where things are going and we're on the same page. I'm just having trouble not getting ahead of myself in my head, I think. And I meant what I said in other comments. I'm not a relationship hopper. I'm not someone who gets caught up in excitement. I'm a pretty slow-paced, logical kind of guy. I really want to get comfortable being by myself. That doesn't mean I'm ending things with him, not at all. It means I want to have a normal dating period, one where I'm not in some weird poly situation. But in my opinion, normal dating is a lot less intense than, yo, this is what being in love actually feels like, and I want to build a life with you ASAP. Normal dating is not equal to the feelings I'm having. I need to get a grip is the point. Any ideas on how I do that? Relevant comments. Commenter 1, if he really is the one, then he should be understanding of the fact that you're still working through not just the divorce, but also the feelings you're going through while detaching yourself from the life that you and your STBX were building together. Just because the relationship ended up going sideways and you're confident in your path forward, that doesn't magically make what you're going through any easier. You said it yourself, take your time, figure out who you are post-divorce, and the two of you can ease your way into this new relationship. He's being really understanding. This is more just me wrestling with the knowledge that I need to take things slow versus not really wanting to. I'm usually fine on my own. And I am fine, but I feel this pull towards him that I've never experienced in any other relationship. It's this nagging feeling in the back of my head where even if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I know I would enjoy doing it with him even more. I don't know. I didn't expect my feelings for him to change as a result of my marriage ending. This is new for me. Commenter 2, communication. It's the number one thing you can do. However, I also feel like you are way too hard on yourself. There is no set time you need to wait to have feelings or give your all to a relationship. Your marriage was not the best, and it's normal that you emotionally checked out of it a long time ago. I appreciate this. Being with him has helped me learn a lot about how much I value communication and how good it feels. I felt like there was so much guesswork in my marriage. Looking back, I always felt like I was scrambling to sort through, like, social cues / facial expressions / size to figure out what she wanted from me. And I wasn't innocent in it either because I followed her lead in that regard. So being with him where he talks so freely, it's so refreshing. It makes my brain feel so good, haha. It feels so easy. I always felt like I said too much, but now I'm just confused why everyone doesn't talk like this. Commenter 3, talk to him. Say all this to him and see if he has any ideas. Communication. Best of luck. I'm nervous because some of what I want to say feel like very inside thoughts. Some of it is very conflicting too. It's like though, I'm just thinking about peaceful married life with him because that's what's in my comfort zone versus, but my marriage wasn't very comfortable or peaceful. I'm being very honest with him while also trying to sort out some of the push and pull. But you're right, I don't think he'd be upset at me for any of it. He'd probably say something very wise and insightful and help me figure it out. Commenter 4, honestly, I think you need to speak to a therapist. An unrelated, unbiased third party. As much as your new guy is great at communicating and meeting you where you're at, it doesn't change the fact he has a vested interest in the outcome. You need to figure out if these feelings you have for him are genuinely for him or if they are related to discovering a new side of yourself you never knew existed. Talking to someone impartial who has the skills and tools to help you navigate this new direction in your life is imperative. Just my 2 cents.